Welcome to Continue Mission Radio with Captain James McCormick. By veterans, for veterans. Guest hosts tonight are author Greg Meekin and Miss Val, our military radio gal. Continue Mission starts now.
You got me headed to the left, headed to the right, headed back and forth, but baby, it's alright. You got me going to the east, going to the west, going up and down, cause baby, you know best. All day, all night, running around, I'm never gonna stop because you never settle down. Got me shooting into space, flying at the sun. I'm never coming back cause baby you're the...
Welcome to another rapid deployment of Continue Mission on the Veteran Channel. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026, and this show is coming to you from the great state of Arizona. I am Val Olson, and I am here once again at my kitchen table with the one, the only, the Iceman, Greg Meekin. Today's special guest represents the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. His name is Richard Azzaro, and he is already a hero with the Veteran Channel. Just wait until you hear this man's amazing story. So let's light the fuse. Buckle up, everyone. Greg Meekin, what is on your heart today?
Val Olson, Miss Val, our military radio gal. What's on my heart is we have little technical issues this morning, and we're restarting the show. Hopefully, a second time's a charm. But I say good morning to you, Val Olson, as ever, and I share what's on my heart, and it has been on my heart, is for everybody out there who's listening, everyone, to be a sentinel. Be a sentinel. That's someone who keeps watch. Be a sentinel. Be a sentinel in your life on the home front. Watch out. Stand on guard. The home front at our schools and churches. At the playground, at work. Be a sentinel. Be on guard. Watch out. Watch out for each other. Watch out for our kids, because I'll tell you what, don't get me started today so early, Val, but our kids right now in that big old dangerous world we have out there right now, it's a crazy, crazy world. And our kids can be swallowed up right in front of our eyes. So if anything, because we have a sentinel, I love that word. That's my word of the day, Val Olson. We got a sentinel coming on, literally a sentinel from 1963. 1963, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. His name's Richard, my friend, Richard Azzaro. And Richard Azzaro is becoming a true hero of the Veteran Channel. So what I'll do, Val, I'll turn it over to you just to introduce him and bring him on stage, hopefully nice and smoothly with great audio. And I can't wait to hear what this gentleman has to say.
I'm excited today to talk about the upcoming event on May 24th. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Foundation is again going to have the honor of hosting Flowers of Remembrance at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington. So we're going to hear about that today. This event helps connect our citizenry with the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, our nation's premier monument, an example of service and sacrifice. The connection can help unite our country because the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier fosters a unifying national identity that transcends our religious, political, and sectional differences. It has become a place where America's sacred duty to never forget all those that have served and sacrificed on behalf of this country that I love in times of war or armed conflict, their families and our allies is felt in the most profound way. Richard Azaro, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Sir.
Greg, I'm going to let you start
Sure.
with some questions. We have audio. Everything's working.
Oh, it's great. We're off to the races. It's like we've taken off the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
You know, I once had an F-14 pilot tell me that landing on an aircraft carrier was just a controlled crash. You ever heard that one before?
I did.
Richard, I welcome you so much to the show. I feel like we're old friends now.
Well,
I said to
quite
my
an
old,
honor to be with you folks. Thank you very much for this privilege. Thank you.
take a minute, just take a minute and introduce yourself. There are many people who'll be listening that don't obviously don't know you or not sure of really what's coming up with your events and stuff. But do take a few minutes and take your time here, Richard. Let everybody know who you are, little of your background, little of what's coming up, and take a few minutes. Say hi to everyone.
Well, I think the most important part of my background is what prepared me for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and what happened afterwards. I enlisted in the Army literally days after I graduated from high school in June of 62. I enlisted for Special Forces at the time because that was the toughest unit around. And John F. Kennedy made it clear that he really thought quite a lot of them. And John F. Kennedy was huge for my generation when he spoke about that, what we could do for our country. Boy, that's when I got grabbed. He grabbed me with that. And as I talked with my folks of that same period, they said the same thing. And then so I go through, I entered military service, and a lot of things happened during that time that made an opportunity available to me that I could never have imagined, and that was to go to the 1st Battalion Reinforced 3rd Infantry of the Old Guard. To me, that meant the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And I volunteered for that immediately. No one else in my unit knew about it, what it was, but I did because I had seen it on TV, which was my favorite pastime. I saw Arlington and I saw the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and I never forgot that moment because I said, my gosh, I wish I could do that. But at the same time, I said, I could never do that. Make a long story short, I do go to Arlington Cemetery, and I am selected to go to the Tomb Guard to be trained. And I begin my service at the tomb in March of 63. And I serve at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier from 63 to April of 65, both as a sentinel, and you have a picture up as me on the south end of the mat, and I served there as a sentinel and then as a relief commander. I then leave the service because it was there that I found a desire. It took over everything that I wanted to go to school. So I attended Southern Illinois University, and I was very active immediately with Veterans Affairs. We were the first wave, if you will, of the Vietnam veteran. And so myself and a couple of other guys formed an organization called Veterans Corporation. We actually incorporated, and it was to help the veterans that were returning from Vietnam. And I was very active with that. And I also, like the other guys with me, we ran out of money pretty quick. So the GI Bill helped us, but we were all working on the side, and I worked as a police officer. I was able to fund my undergraduate work as a police officer. So I had a lot of experience in the events of the times, which was a lot of anti-war, and then also the killing of Dr. Martin Luther King. So in that experience, very much a surprise to me, I found out that I wanted to be a lawyer. So I went on to law school, and while I was in law school, again, ran into financial problems. Was kind of a theme in my life, and I took a job. Switched over to night school and took a job with the Chief Judge of the United States District Court. His name was John J. Sirica. Within a couple of months, I was deeply involved in the Watergate trials. Went from working with the judge, and then entered my career with the federal government as a trial attorney, investigator, etc. And I finished up as the general counsel of a federal agency that was responsible for the health and safety of the nuclear weapons facilities, and it was known as the Defense Nuclear Facility Safety Board. I retired from that and have been retired for about 10 years, although I don't feel like I'm retired because I'm very active with the Tomb Guard. I never really separated from the tomb. I may have changed uniforms, but you'll find with other Tomb Guards, we're Tomb Guards all the way through. I think that would be about where I would stop. That's who I am.
You are a Tomb Guard, sir. You are a Tomb Guard. Val Olson, why don't you take the mic for a minute here? We're all catching up on just getting together, good audio, good visual and stuff, and take a quick minute and because you have done a lot of research and conversation behind the scene, maybe talk white flowers, white
Yes.
roses, whatever, but just take a minute and then maybe ask Rich a question.
I have so many questions. I want to go back, Richard, when you were 18, and this calling that was on your life and how it influenced you through your entire career. And I'm going to share this picture. So take us back to this moment, what it felt like for you, and just how it transcended and right to today, because you are still active. May 26th, it's May 26th, right around the corner. And so you're going to be active there on the ground. So walk us through, but this picture right here, take us to that moment.
Well, I think the best way to describe it, see, first of all, it's very difficult for us to talk about us because it's not about us, and it never can be about us. It's about the mission, and that's what we're all about, the mission. We are defined by our mission, and that is the sacred duty to never forget all those who have served and sacrificed on behalf of America and their families. And we train very hard. Having said all that, we train very, very hard for a number of reasons, not the least of which is zero failure. We cannot have failure on that mat. Not doing the duty that we have because it is so important to the country. That's a general sense, the country, but to the people who love this country and those who have lost their loved ones. They paid the price for our freedom. And that is something that is present in a very, very powerful way. And it goes back to when I was 18 and it impacted me. When people talk about, why we want to be there, how do you get people to do this? How do you attract them, and then how do you keep them doing it? Because, they go through some pretty tough weather out there. I mean, it's no secret, when you're out there in 120 degrees, it gets pretty tough. It's not combat. I'll be the first to say this is not combat. But I can also say, when the rain is coming in sideways and it's freezing to everything, including you, being a part of an elite unit gets pretty thin. So there's got to be something much more powerful. And that powerful force, if you will, it's part of our training. We train that into them to be Tomb Guards, but it's also to get them ready for what happens to them on the mat. And I use that expression, happens to them, because when you go out on the mat, you have a lot of things happening, and it happens to you. And as I tell the younger sentinels, there'll come a time when, as we train you to embrace their mission with all of your heart, that's what we have to have, everything. There's no room for anything else but your commitment to the mission. There'll come a time when the mission will turn on you and embrace you. And at that moment, you're forever changed. There's no going back. You are claimed by the mission. And it happens to every one of those sentinels at some time. It happens, depends on the individual. It can happen at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when you're all alone, in a crowd of thousands during a presidential wreath laying. it's interesting to talk among ourselves. When did it happen? And sometimes more than once. In my case, it was an incident that happened. I was just posted. I was maybe at the tomb, maybe 2 or 3 months, and I trained hard because I wanted it. And it was a beautiful day. It was a fall day, and I just been posted, maybe 2 or 3 trips. That's how we refer to it, as walking back and forth on the mat, trips down the mat. And I was on the south end. I did a facing movement and did the manual of arms, which we're required to do to keep the rifle away from the tomb. This is the south end, and it was at this end where this incident occurred. And as I did a facing movement, changed my rifle, as I was changing the shoulder, I noticed a woman walk from the far end of the plaza immediately and positioned herself right at the point where I would be when I walked to the south end of the mat. I wasn't alarmed, but it was noticeable. It was very deliberate. I walked to the south end, did my facing movement, began my 21 count, and I started hearing a voice. And I realized this voice was talking to me. And this is still pretty rough for me. Anyway, I couldn't stay to listen to it because I had to stay within my discipline. So at end of 21, I did my facing movement, changed the rifle, started counting 21. She continued to talk. At the end of that, I went back to the other end of the mat and repeated it and came back. She had stopped, and as soon as I hit the end of the mat, she started talking again. She was telling me about her son that never came back, and that there was no other place for her to go. And she told me about him. And all the while, I'm listening to her. It's getting deeper and louder. And I am fighting desperately to maintain my discipline. I'm a tomb guard. I can't fail. So I continue. This went on for about 20 minutes. And inside, I just wanted to stop and just hold her, cry together with her. But I continued. And I thought I was doing a good job. I thought I really thought I held it together. And when she stopped and she started to leave, she said, "Thank you for watching over my baby." And I made a vow to her. I would never fail her or her son. Well, the guard changed. This is where it gets to be kind of some moment there. We go through the guard change, and again, I thought I had done a great job holding it together. Well, I am relieved. I go downstairs, and right behind me is my relief commander. And he is on me. I mean, like the trail of a fighter jet. I mean, he was on me. We get through the door, and he is all over me. And he is yelling, demanding what, and I'll leave the expletives out, happened out there. What? And I remember, I mean, that's this visual. I still have the visual. I'm taking my bayonet off my rifle. And I told him. And he looked at me. He had these blue eyes that would see, I mean, just see right through anything, see right through you. And he just looked at me, didn't nod his head, didn't say a word. He turned and walked away. And I later realized, he realized my moment had come. And that moment, from that moment on, my life was changed. Everything I did from that point on was informed by that moment and the suffering of that woman. And the loss of her son, the death of that young man. And it affected me throughout my life. There was nothing in my personal or my professional life that has not been informed by my experiences at the tomb. And there are many other kinds of experiences like that. It does change you. Yeah, we're different. We're different.
Richard, please talk about white roses.
Technical issues. Richard, can you hear us?
Testing. Can you hear me, Richard? Can you hear me? Ooh.
Okay, we're still coming through, Greg. Richard can't hear us. So how are we now? Richard, can you hear us? Okay.
Audio.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Sure.
Okay, he can't
Tell him
hear
we'll
us.
put him backstage momentarily. We'll put him backstage more momentarily. I have a few shout outs. So we'll take a minute. I don't know if he can get restarted, what have you. If we have to reschedule to a part 2 on this, I'm getting emotional just listening to this first story from this guest.
It's incredible. I don't think Richard can hear us. So
Just have him honestly have him just have him
I'll
sit for
call
now.
him.
Sit backstage. Sure.
Yeah, so I will let him know, but I would kind of like just to, before we go, Greg, I know you have thank yous, but I want to just mention what's coming up on the 26th. And we're also going to take a minute real quick here, and I'm going to play a video. So that's going to give us a couple minutes. And I want everyone to watch this because this really sets the stage for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So we're going to take a minute here and begin this video.
A tomb holding the remains of 3 American heroes, as the inscription says, known but to God.
And it was so powerful. I mean, it just changed me.
Richard Azaro was drawn to service as a teenager when he first saw tomb guards walk the mat in front soldier. He would enlist in the Army at the age of 17, on track to serve in Special Forces, but he was drawn to the old guard, the soldiers who watch over the tomb, a mission that he called mentally, physically, and psychologically demanding, a mission too important to ever fail.
It's about America's sacred duty to never, ever forget those who have served and sacrificed on behalf of America in times of war or armed conflict.
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was dedicated 100 years ago. It's the final resting place of an unknown American fighter from World Wars I and II and the Korean War. Now at 76, Richard still vividly remembers a mother once speaking to him about her soldier son as he marched.
She told me how grateful she was for what I was doing, taking care of her son, the way a mother thanks you for taking care of her baby. And I said, I'll never fail you.
Over the years, only 688 soldiers have stood watch 24 hours a day in any type of weather. 5 have been women, including Ruth Robinson, a member of the Society of the Honor Guard, preserving the memory of the tomb and the unknowns.
To me, there was no higher honor that I could do in my military career than to guard the unknowns and then to later on share their story.
A sacred duty to keep serving those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News, Ellicott City, Maryland.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by
That was an amazing video. That was from 2021 NBC. Can you hear me okay, Val? I think you're on mute, Val.
Just an update. Richard is going to be coming back into the studio. So we're going to take a minute, Greg. Of course, we just want to thank all of our vets that are joining around the world today. We are the Veteran Channel, and you can find us on Apple, Roku, and Prime. And follow us. We are actively recruiting. We do not believe in retirement. It is a lifetime mission. So you have just enough time if you're watching this to know that you are loved, to know that you are needed, and to sign up. I'm the official recruiting department here. So it's me you will be dealing with, and we're actively recruiting, of course. So I'm going to bring Richard back onto the stage here. And Richard, can you hear us okay? Can you hear me?
I have you. Yes, I do.
Oh my God, will wonders never cease? Okay, forget the Grand Canyon. We got our audio working today. This is a miracle, Richard. I'm going to jump right back into it. I'm deeply moved by your conversation.
I'm sorry. It's still very emotional piece for me because it was. Yeah, I'll stop there before I start again. But yeah.
Well, like I said, even in the pre-show, the thing about this show on the Veteran Channel is it's authentic. When you're authentic, we bring in, again, with our conversations, can you imagine, with James McCormick and Sheriff Mark Lamb, that the authenticity very often gets emotional.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause that's what I see right in front of me right now. I see one authentic, passionate man. I was going to, again, switch gears, but please talk about the white rose and the white roses. Take as long as you want, past, present, whatever.
Okay, this
really-
is another this is another miracle, if you will. And this rose is the name of it is Nefetos, and what this is about goes back to the actual selection of America's World War I unknown soldier in France in a small village called Chalon-sur-Marne. This is in the heart of France, where most of the fighting was done in World War I. And as they set up for the ceremony, and that in itself was just another story, a very incredible, compelling story. But they set up for the ceremony. All the military was in position, and the individual was selected. His name was Edward F. Younger. He was a sergeant, combat veteran, highly decorated, and he was selected at the last minute to be the one that would go in and select who the unknown soldier, which of the caskets would be the America's unknown soldier that would represent all. Just as they were about to start, a French couple came forward with a bouquet. They called it a spray of white roses, and they presented it as a floral tribute. And there were many of them, but this particular one, there was something about it. And the commanding officer accepted the spray of white roses and took them to the sergeant and instructed him that when you go into that room, you will select the unknown, and you will indicate your selection by placing this spray of white roses on the casket. He did. And as I mentioned to Val, this is not speculation. We have this documented, and I know it personally because I did a personal investigation on following these flowers. We follow those flowers. Those flowers remained. And the interesting thing is, I could not find, now it may exist, but I could not find one word about instructing what to do with those flowers. I followed the entire cortege from the moment they take the body out of the building onto the caisson, through the village, onto the trains throughout France, the ceremonies at Le Havre, taking the casket, bringing it on board the USS Olympia, its trip through an incredible storm that almost sank the ship, arrival in home in Washington at the pier at the Washington shipyard, through the ceremonies, and then to Arlington Cemetery. Those roses remained with the casket the whole time. They are buried with the unknown soldier. When we prepared for commemorating the centennial of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which was in 21, there were a number of initiatives that we launched. One of them was recognizing that floral tributes play a huge part of, from time immemorial, of how people express themselves. Flowers speak for them when they can't. Just words won't suffice, or they're emotional, and they allow flowers to speak. So capitalizing on that, I launched an initiative, and one of the initiatives was a Never Forget garden. We created a garden, and it is a garden that is unique in that it's not only to remember, but also a place to teach. And we have a garden marker that lays that all out, and it's part of the garden that we recommend to people. And right now we have something in the order of, I think it's 3,500, and about 30 in France and throughout the country. The Daughters of the American Revolution electrified the program, and their gardens are everywhere, and they range from a flower pot to acres large acreage dedicated to the Never Forget Garden. And in these gardens, we encourage people to have flowers that mean something to them and to their loved ones or their relationship to someone who served and sacrificed. And in our case, we wanted to know about those white roses that were on the casket. Well, the president of the American Rose Society, who happened to be a lawyer, he took it on as a personal task. He said, "I want this," and he conducted an investigation. And he believes that the flower, the variety is called Nefetos, and that's the flower you see. And that flower was the rage in Europe from the 1850s. And it's a very different rose, very, very unique fragrance, body, everything. It's an incredibly unique rose and a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. And so that's the anchor. That's our official, the Tomb Guards Society, the Honor Guard, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That's our official flower. And we encourage everyone to use the white rose when they remember, especially our military. And so it is now for us at the Tomb Guards and for many others, but especially for us, I call it the anchor point of our garden. And that garden, what it means is everything is built around it. And there's one other flower that we didn't get it into and that's the pink carnation. In the language of flowers, that's symbolic of a mother's love. So, and you see, we do this at the flowers. This takes us to the Flowers of Remembrance ceremony. The flowers we hand out to the public is a white rose or a pink carnation. And we explain to them, and people choose. You know, they're very, there's no like, oh, well, I'm not sure. Well, they say, I want that, or I want that. And we have some great pictures of what it looks like when it's placed by the thousands of people that come to Arlington and surrounds the tomb. I think I'll stop there.
It's incredible. And also reaching the next generation. This is so important. It's a part of our history. It's a part of our present, and it's a part of our future. So to see the youth and know how they're going to connect with it, that there's a place for them, I think is just incredible. Greg, do you want to go with a question, or do you want me to carry on?
Quick question. You have a huge event coming up this Saturday. It's Saturday? Yeah. Does he hear me?
May 26th.
May 26th.
Richard, can you hear Greg okay? Can you hear me okay? Okay, we're having audio issues again. So we're going to promote the event, which I can do. I'm going to go into that. Do we want to carry on the interview, Greg, or reschedule?
I think it's time. Probably let's put Rich backstage. What this is going to be. This is going to be a great big part to follow up. We've got obviously the key message, core message on the air here today was the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and their event coming up this weekend. Val, you can take a minute on that if you like, but I will just kind of let Richard know that we'll be excusing him, and or what have you. And
yes.
We'll take a few minutes. I have a little bit of housekeeping and stuff, but I'm so deeply moved by listening to him. When we're talking a guy 19 years old, 1963, he was one of the guards. And here he is. He won't mind me sharing. He's 81 years old and just rocking and rolling more than he ever has in his life. God bless him. God bless Rich Azzaro. Do let him know we'll be excusing him more if however that's going to work. But I wanted to definitely to actually you take a minute, if you would, Val, and talk about that event coming up, because I know you've been looking into it.
Yeah, so that is coming up on May 26th. So that is on Sunday. So we want to encourage everybody. The Flowers of Remembrance event at the Tomb of the Soldier was one of the most meaningful, humbling, and powerful experiences of one woman's life. There are Gold Star mothers that are there. And then, of course, there is the family of soldiers who have given the ultimate sacrifice. And I can't say just how powerful it is getting to know Richard, his life story. I wanted to share just a quote because maybe there's some people that are watching and saying, it's something I've always wanted to do, but I've never done it. And maybe it's something you can do this year. This is one way it was described. She said, it's so hard to put my feelings into words because I was so changed. During World War I, a single unknown American soldier was chosen from those who fell in France, representing all who gave their lives, but were never identified, never brought home. And she described this next moment is something that really should be taught in school. There is something so deeply meaningful. It was and I'm losing the screen, so I can't even finish. I can't finish her quote, but that's how deeply moving it is to be there. On May 24th, 2026, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Foundation will again be honoring by hosting Flowers of Remembrance. And the event helps connect all citizens, every single American, with the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, the premier monument and example of service and sacrifice. This connection helps unite our country because the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier fosters a unifying national identity that transcends our religious, political, and sectional differences. And of course, there is a cost involved with this every year. So for those that are able to donate, that cost is $20,000 each year to put this on. And if that's something that you want to help with, there's a way to do that. So I want to just let everybody know, right now donations have come in. 49% is what it's showing for this remembrance, for the Flowers of Remembrance Day coming up. So there is still a way to do that. There is a QR code. You can go on GoFundMe and type in Flowers of Remembrance Day. So they still have $2,555 to go. So I just wanted to let everyone know that. Did we lose audio, Greg? I have lost my screen.
I hear you perfectly. Your screen actually is frozen, so it's just you. You're
okay. Why don't you wrap the show up? I can't. I've lost all control of my computer.
It's one for the ages, isn't it great?
Yep.
Isn't it great? No worries, because we're going to be doing a follow-up show, and we've been averaging doing weekly shows on the Veteran Channel. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it and just start and wrap the show here, Val.
Sure.
But first and foremost is to deeply thank Richard Azzaro. We'll be having him on again. And as Val mentioned, he's got a wonderful event coming up at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So we can't wait to have him back. Hopefully logistics and audio and visual will be squared away by then. But I really look forward to it. I have a couple of shout outs. Not housekeeping, whatever, but just a couple of shout outs. We just heard from someone who was watching from Michigan. Val, you won't believe, you'll love this, on the Veteran Channel. Vince Alfino, CEO Vinny, he's a gentleman I worked with here in Arizona City, Arizona. He worked for Love's Truck Stop, and it was a great story. I call him CEO Vinny because he and I were both like retired CEOs, but really working entry level jobs. He was but he said he just touched base. He said Val and Greg, actually, yeah, I'll tell you what he said. Greg Meekin and Richard Azzaro on the Veteran Channel. Cool. So that's from Michigan. How cool is that? A quick little tip of the hat to State Senator Tom Willis. Had a tough loss this past week in West Virginia Republican primary. As I told him, I think God just has other plans for him right now, but a wonderful guy. We'll be hearing more about Tom Willis, Val, as you know, and you can see we probably will have follow-up show as well. These are amazing, amazing people we're bumping into. But Tom, I texted with him this morning. And so, yeah, he's getting on. We were talking about James's book, James McCormick's book, Battle Tested Faith. But couple little shout outs there. And either way, we're getting just a fun reach. Again, Val, we go out to, you never know where we're gonna land, but I do know, I think it was like something like 14 people from New Zealand have watched us. What's that? What's that? But so we indeed are the Veteran Channel. The show is Continuing Mission. It's been around. Continuing Mission show is founded by Captain James McCormick over a decade ago. Do you believe it, Val? You and I have gone out on those wonderful Friday night shows. We co-hosted one night. We happened to go out to 200,000 military veterans. As I've mentioned many times. So this is indeed just a continuation of that brand. Hopefully we're going to have a weekly product, but very similar to this. And even the last show, just pull it up on YouTube. The wonderful Kathy, she is just wonderful guest last week. So I do say, obviously, keep in touch with us, everybody. It's been just a pleasure, the connection we've had with people. Again, from all 50 states, Canada, big time Canada. They quietly really like the United States, and a lot of our, don't let anyone tell you any differently, Val, but Canada, and as you know, the UK is third on my YouTube channel as far as watch. And here, trivia of the day. Guess we have a few minutes. We're not worried here about tying things up too quick. You love this, Val. I always do my analytics on my YouTube channel, right? Over 2,600 videos, blah, blah, blah. But I always check cities. What cities are listening to us, Val? This is so good. Number one is still Calgary. And I love it. Number 3 is Toronto. I still can't believe that. Toronto, number 3. But good old shout outs to Medicine Hat, Alberta, number 9 out of the top 50 city. Of the top 50 cities, number 9, Medicine Hat. So God bless you guys. I will just wrap on my end, which is tune into us. Stay tuned into us. Like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Shout outs to all of our friends out there, our amazing guys in Washington, D.C., the Captain James McCormick's, the Pete Hegseth, all the guys. Shout outs to them. And what I always say to everybody as I end the show, and once again, we've done it today. I've learned something today, Val. I've learned something today. And there's scores of more information that are going to come from Rich Azaro on our follow-up show. This just the tip of the iceberg. But what I say every day is this. Wake up in kindergarten every day. There is so much to learn and so little time. Because before you know it, you're in first grade. And so that I wish on everybody. Be a sentinel out there, everybody. Watch out. Watch out for everybody. Watch out for each other. And we'll see you next time. God bless you, Val. Great job facilitating once again.
The Veteran Channel is featured on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Greg Meekin's YouTube and Facebook pages, and dozens of other platforms. Continue Mission is produced by veterans for veterans. And remember, everyone, we are actively recruiting, and your mission starts now.
Welcome to Continue Mission Radio with Captain James McCormick. By veterans, for veterans. Guest hosts tonight are author Greg Meekin and Miss Val, our military radio gal. Continue Mission starts now.